Good.
Good
I'm also
morning. Good
good
morning,
morning.
Joanna. Welcome to today's interview. So I would like to introduce my beautiful friend, Joanna Cameron, who is a authority and expert in the field of removing pain through the power of hypnosis. So Joanna and I have been very close for a number of years now. We've even attended training together years ago when we attended Infinite Possibilities training by Mike Dooley in New Mexico. It was transformational. It was life-changing. Joanna is one of the very few people in the world that I love with all my heart. I really do. And I feel that she is so close to me. She's one of these people that I have, confided in with everything that has gone on with my life, because I trust her with everything. So I trust her with the world, and I trust her with my life. And it is my greatest honor that I'm interviewing Joanna today, because Joanna Cameron, otherwise known as the Trance Lady, is presenting at HypnoBiz Australia. She will be presenting on Drain That Pain, and she will also be presenting a documentary called Drain That Pain. Joanna has been in America's Got Talent. She's been in Britain's Got Talent. And just tell me just a little bit about that experience for you, Joanna.
Well, first of all, they are both extremely brief, you understand, but they were monumental for me as a person. Besides having my talent recognized and getting on the stage, America's Got Talent was just a few snippets I was invited to be on, so they had just a few snippets of me, my picture, but it's enough to say I was on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
I had the full 90 seconds, and of course they got to choose the 90 seconds that they showed, and it was not complimentary. And I'll be honest, the result of that, even though at the time it was a low point, it was a springboard for other things, Helen. It was just like, yes, I was panned in Britain, in the British press, and people went after me for one reason or another. But when I look back on it, it was absolutely the way it was supposed to be,
Yes.
because I do believe in the law of attraction, just like you. We attended Mike Dooley's training. We have him in common, when we met, we had this person that we both read. And so for me, it was, there's two things. It's the one end of the stick is what you want, and the other end of the stick is what you don't want. And sometimes what you don't want is actually what springboards you to what you want.
Absolutely.
So, after America's Got Talent, I decided to teach stage hypnosis. I ended up in Melbourne and Australia, which has been so good for me.
Yes.
All over
Australia. Love you here. We absolutely love
your vibe. I've taught stage hypnosis. I've taught my Bring It training. So I have been absolutely welcomed in open arms, Australia. And even in the middle of filming the documentary Drain That Pain, I went to Australia for a month and did the meetup in Melbourne, and watched one of your best friends get out of some of the worst neck pain I've seen from an accident.
It was amazing, amazing. We saw it in the room. So what actually happened was Joanna got us all to stand up, and for all of us to have this collective intention. For him, he had a very bad accident many years ago, and he had been living with chronic pain, which had impacted not only himself, but his entire family. And to see that pain, go to virtually zero, not that night zero, but very close to it. And I believe you then saw him for another session where it went down to zero.
We did it by phone.
Yeah. And it was emotional because, just to see the feeling that he had been used to having this pain with him for so long. So explain to our viewers as to how it's possible through the power of hypnosis, when you're suffering from pain for so long, for it to go so quickly.
Well, I think it's two things. First of all, it's holding space. What we did as a group, as a room, there was the time in the meetup, it didn't seem like anything was happening. And then I asked everybody to bring their energy in,
Yes.
and it shifted, Helen, didn't it? It
Yes.
shifted. And it was just, and that's really what it is. It is the power of intention, and it is the ability to hold space and to have your energy be involved totally in that.
Yeah.
And so really, as a holistic energy practitioner, it's about stuck energy within the body and allowing that person with your energy and with the combined energy just to allow it to drain through the body. And it doesn't matter whether it's fibromyalgia, whether it's chronic pain from an accident, or if it's, you know, migraines, headaches. At some level, everything seems to be a switch. And the power of intention, the power of loving intention, is the strongest power in the universe. And when we put that together, it enables it. And you'll see when I show, and I can't wait to show Drain That Pain before HypnoBiz in Australia, and you'll see that people will get out of pain in the audience. It's just that it is the power of the group and the power of intention. I've watched it so many times, and that's why I made the movie, because I always felt, you know, we can do this one-on-one, but supposing we could do this with people sitting in their movie seats, that would have movies be for that reason. So it's the truth, and it can be a giant placebo effect. You know, the more people get out of pain, the more other people will get out of pain, the more people will learn about it, because there's so many people in pain. Probably 1 in 3 adults in the States is in some form of pain. Whether it's depression, emotional, it's not just physical pain, it's emotional pain. They are one and the same, because at the base of physical pain is emotion. It's all emotion. And it's simply allowing it just to leave the body. It's really miraculous, and it never fails to amaze me. And it can happen on Zoom. It can happen, you know, it can happen on the telephone. It can happen in extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
So I feel honored to do this. I really do. And we now have, you know, 500 practitioners all over the world.
Wow.
And there are other people who are doing this. There are many of us that are doing this in different iterations. But, you know, it's the same process. And it's a joy. We may have different ways to do it, but we're still doing the same thing. So I think pain elimination is going to become one of the greatest events of this century. I really do. I think we're going to look back in about 9 or 10 years, and people will be out of chronic pain.
Yeah. So tell us, Joanna, what are you going to be presenting with Drain That Pain? What are the things that you will be covering in your presentation at HypnoBiz Australia?
Well, I can't wait to do this. And basically, I'm going to ask the audience, you know, to let go of pain, whether I present, you know, I'll be presenting to the whole audience. And I'm going to say, you know, whatever it is that you want to let go of, do it now. Because the last 20 minutes of the documentary is actually that process. Of course, we do it with incredible sound and light and pictures, but really it is something that you also are doing in your head and your body. And then after the movie is over with, it's very easy just to facilitate that and snap your fingers like any hypnotist, because people are, let's put it this way, they are ready for that. They're ready to finally let it go. And I think you're going to see huge change, just as you saw in your meetup with me in Melbourne.
There was emotion all through the room. So it wasn't just the person that you were working on. Every one of us felt the release that was going on at the time. And it was just beautiful to be a part of it. Really honoured to have you, Joanna. We really are. So tell me, you know, what was it about pain that, you know, because there's so many things that you've done and that you're doing, you know, stage hypnosis, the translating, where you would literally put down people that were double your size onto the ground, even though you're a petite lady. It didn't matter how. I
have video of you doing it.
So you still do it. You're incredible. You're amazing. But what is it about pain that you're so passionate about relieving people's pain?
Well, I think it was, you know, my mother was in pain. My mother died when I was 24, but the last 15 years of her life, she had, you know, dreadful cancer pain. And um, I think that's what inspired me.
Yeah.
Is for me, I would have loved to be able to have helped her to get out of pain. I looked after her at the end of her life, and I'm really glad for that kind of self-contained experience
Yeah.
and that intimacy that 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 I was able to have watching someone at a young age. My mother die was something that, you know, I've not forgotten. So, you know, yes, as you know, I that that affected me deeply, and so the ability to be able to get people out of chronic pain was just like the best experience. And, you know, I've followed that feeling, and I think that that is what we do to manifest. You have to follow a feeling that just really, it's just not about your thoughts and taking actions. It's a feeling. That's what the law of attraction.
Totally agree.
I've followed that feeling. And guess what? The universe has opened doors. You know, I now know people in Hollywood, and all of these things have happened, you know, simply because I followed the feeling, and somehow or another, universe has paired me up with the right people, including your good self.
Yes, yes.
It's exactly
but
what's happened.
What you're saying is, you know, it took me a long time to really understand that concept. When something feels like you're going against the grain, when something feels really hard, it's probably because you're not following the feeling. You know, when you're following the feeling, you get this adrenaline, this burst of energy, this ability to do things that you didn't think was possible, and that's because you're following that feeling.
There's a rocket of desire, and then from that desire, all of a sudden, you're doing something. Maybe I'm swimming, or maybe I'm just relaxing, but all of a sudden I get some ideas. Maybe I'll chat with Helen. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this. And you know what? That's when the magic happens. That's the receptive mode, when you have those ideas and you take action on that. And actually everything you want will manifest, as long as you don't focus on all of the little stuff. If you just say, I'm not going to focus on that, I'm going to focus on what I want, I'm going to focus on the good stuff. And it's that discipline. And then letting go of pain, letting go of emotion, that's all part of it, so that you don't stress about things that don't matter.
Yes.
We all have issues.
Yes.
And we all have deadlines and all kinds of things. But most of it is the story we tell ourselves.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
most of the time, there is a sense of unworthiness in people which causes them to have difficulties within themselves. In other words, it is the story they're telling themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you change the story, everything changes. When you become compassionate to yourself, and when you become involved in self-love first, everything changes.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And as you said previously, that's when the doors open up, and that's when opportunities present themselves, and that's when things that you haven't worked out yourself, but the how you get there gets worked out for you.
It just, the doors open.
Yes.
You know, it's just about passion and excitement, and you meet the right people. And I've met the most extraordinary people. And basically, I didn't do anything for 2 years except go swimming in the morning. But somehow or another, through my swimming,
I don't believe that for a minute.
It really is true. I was so involved in what I was doing that I really, you know, many of my people just didn't really see me too much for a couple of years, because I was so focused on drain that pain. But somehow or another, the universe got me to, you know, be connected with the people that distribute movies, that do those kinds of things. And it's an amazing thing, really.
So tell me how you feel when you see people be free of pain. What is that feeling like?
It's just like you know, it's just the best feeling in the world. I've known, it's for me, there's nothing like it. It's like you watching someone become successful with your system, with your fabulous system that it's the same feeling. Watching other people succeed is just like, for me, the lights go on, and watching them be free of these dreadful pains that I see people in.
Beautiful.
Emotional, physical. And, you know, it's always been there from Dr. Sarno's work. I mean, we've always known that underneath pain, the basis, that so much of pain is a feeling of unworthiness, or the stories that people have been telling themselves, or their conditioning from childhood, and what doctors have told them. You know, all of these things are part of what chronic pain is, but it doesn't need to be there. Any pain that has existed beyond when it's supposed to have healed is chronic, and really it is stuck energy within the body. And if I hold space for you, you can release it. Or if you hold space for someone else, if we hold space together as a group, then we can release that, which is exactly what happened in our meeting, in your Melbourne meetup with your friend.
Exactly. So Joanna, what you've just said is really important, because people that are skeptical, you know, they'd be thinking, well, of course, you know, there is pain, and pain happens for a reason when you really hurt yourself. But what you've just done is differentiated chronic pain. So what we're really talking about here when we say drain that pain, we're talking about chronic pain, which is different to the pain that we experience when something physical happens to our body. So can you explain that difference?
Yes, the difference is that new pain is something that happens. It's a warning. It's the alarm goes off. But it's like chronic pain is the alarm that doesn't switch off.
Yes.
And the truth is, it's something your body wants you to learn. You know, there's an underneath there. It's like the body wants you to say, we need to let go of the anger. We need to let go of the sadness. We need you to understand that you are loved. We need you to realize that you can live in the moment, and that you can live your dreams. And all you have to really do is just intend with me, and it can happen. And I really believe it's that simple, that you intend with another. When we intend together, like we did in Santa Fe, when, you know, both of our lives lit up after that. For me, it was pivotal. That was pivotal. 2 years after that, right after that, you know, within a few months, I was saying I had to make a documentary, and then the money appeared. Things just happened.
Things just change. And interestingly, you know, when I first decided to do that Infinite Possibilities training with Mike Dooley, and I asked you to come with me, and you said, yeah, of course I'm coming. I actually just thought that it was just a nice reward for myself for all the hard work that I had done, not thinking that it was actually going to change my life as well. So we had such a ball. We drove around and pardon?
I think you relaxed.
Yeah, I did.
What it did for you, it's just like, what I need to do is just be happy. Yeah. And that really is the truth. We are here to be happy. And if you're not happy, then that's simply, you are probably manifesting something you don't want. So, you know, really to be happy is what we're here for. And if you're not happy, then you're pinching yourself off in some way from your happiness. So it's finding out what makes you happy. And meditation, however you do it, but meditation is something that is just absolutely to be able to quieten the mind. Because when you quieten the mind, then the desires and the thoughts, they just come into you, and they come intuitively. You know, it just happens. And the people arrive, you know, and it's just a miracle. But you have to also relax and chill.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to.
You're really stressed that you're pinched off in some way. So you have to say, I'm going to surrender and just simply go to sleep, wake up in the morning and feel good and get on with it. Absolutely. And at night, I think what's really important is to realize that your cells, at the level of your cells, they are planets too. And what they need to do is just bathe you need to bathe them in self-love every night so that you wake up in that very high vibe in the morning, and you get up and you get going, meditate for a while, and focus on what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's, I think it, and being happy. And if you're not happy, then find what makes you happy,
Yeah.
you know, but don't focus on not being happy. And I actually wrote an article this morning for Selena for HypnoBiz, the Fall magazine, and it's 500 words, and it's called, it's about the way you feel. The law of attraction is a feeling thing.
Mm.
And if you're not feeling good, then change it. Let go of it. And that's what I help people do, is let go of it. Because when they let go of pain, then their lives open up. I can tell you just how many people have let go of pain, and now they're Drain That Pain practitioners, you know. They're teaching people to do the same thing. And that's a dream come true for me, because, you know, for me, the inspiration really, my mother was in pain when I was 24 when she died, but the last 15 years of her life, she had enormous pain. And for me to realize that people, even that was cancer pain, but for me to realize that people really can drain those things that are chronic, was just like the switch went on for me, Helen. It was just like, you know, that was, I've made people laugh all my life. I'm a comedy hypnotist, you know. There's talent shows and things, and, you know, top of the college market, but there was nothing like the feeling of watching people let go of pain. Beautiful. It's like you watching people succeed with your system. Watching others succeed is the best. Yeah, it's just, it fills me up. It really does.
So, with regards to you coming to the Gold Coast in Australia, I'm so thrilled about that. The beautiful Gold Coast. Have you been to the Gold Coast?
Well, I've taught in Brisbane, and I've been there. Yes, I've been to Brisbane. Funnily enough, I've never seen the Great Barrier Reef or done that. Every time I've supposedly go, we went as a family when Chelsea was younger, and she was ill, so I stayed with her. But Harvey went, who doesn't swim. He went and managed to see the Great Barrier Reef. But while I'm there, yes, I have some goals as regards seeing the sights.
It's just gorgeous. So Surfers Paradise is just beautiful. I'm so thrilled that as soon as we announced that we will be holding this conference, that you immediately accepted, because I personally invited you to present at HypnoBiz Australia. I wouldn't want to run this conference without you, and I'm so thrilled that you're going to be there, showcasing your documentary Drain That Pain, and also presenting a presentation on Drain That Pain.
Right, and we'll be draining that pain right there, and inviting people to let go of anything that doesn't serve them anymore.
Perfect.
So everybody will be included, and of course I'm teaching. I have a one-day.
Of course, you have a post-conference workshop on Drain That Pain, and so anybody who wants to do the post-conference workshop with Joanna, really you need to sign up now, so that you've got a definite spot with Joanna. So post-conference workshops are something that I guess Australians are not familiar with, because we don't have conferences over here in Australia like they do in the States. So with your ticket to HypnoBiz Australia, you will be attending the Saturday, and you will be attending the Sunday, but you need to actually sign up for Joanna's Drain That Pain post-conference workshop, which will be life-changing and incredible for you if you want to be a practitioner that helps their clients remove pain. So is there anything else that you would like to add, Joanna?
Just to say that I'm just really thrilled to come to Australia again. Australia has been so good for me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, right after Britain's Got Talent at that low, you know, I went and taught in Australia, and I met you and so many others that have supported my career, and I adore Australia.
Yeah, and Australians love you, as you know.
It's the people. It's a beautiful place, but it's the people. It is that sort of spirit of, it's a cheerfulness that I don't see as much around Americans. And, you know, it's just always, that's the way Australians are. It's just they're happy to see you. They want to have a good time, mate, and it's all good. I love that, Helen. I love that.
We're going to have a ball, so I can't
We're going to
wait.
have such a good time, and we're going to be dancing, right? Yes.
Yes, of course we're going to be dancing. Of course. So, of course we're going to be dancing. Joan and I have danced in Boston together.
Yes.
Where else have we danced together?
Yes.
Boston, New Mexico.
We have, absolutely. Dancing is one of life's greatest thrills.
Yeah, absolutely.
I dance all the time by myself. I know that sounds strange. I turn the music on, it gets me going, and, you know.
Love it. Thank you so much, Joanna. I love you so much.
I love you too.
You know that I do. And
when will I see you next? Will I see you in Canada?
No, this year I'm actually, because of all my trips the last 4 years, I've travelled so much that this year it's really about getting grounded, because it was just it was full on the last 4 years. So I really need to stay grounded and just stay home for a while, because I'm still traveling around Australia and New Zealand, but I've just decided that for this year there's no more.
Totally. You know, I've done the same thing, and yes, I get it.
Yes.
I can't wait to be in Australia in March, and you know, I'm sure I'll stay for a while. I'm sure I'll come to Melbourne.
Oh, of course. Of course. Thank you so much, Joanna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we can stop the recording.